Hey, we are Jay and Dre, and this is our pup Guapo. A few years ago, we purchased our Airstream travel trailer and set out to live a more intentional life. We always wanted to live off the land and homestead our very own property, but we never thought it would happen so quickly. We recently purchased 20 beautiful acres of raw land in the forest with big dreams of turning it into our own slice of paradise. But it's pretty obvious we have no clue what we're doing. Since neither of us have any experience with building or growing our own food, we invite you to join our community where we can all learn together. Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I am headed to a job interview. It would be awesome to be able to get a job like this. I'm quickly realizing we do not have enough infrastructure at all yet in order for me to work remotely. I'm gonna do my job interview, and then from there we'll probably just do some grocery shopping, and yeah, that'll be it.
Check out the area. So we are in the city. We came out here to run errands, and Andrea had a job interview that went really well. So that's really exciting. I'll let her tell you more about that. She's in Winco right now, just getting some groceries, basic groceries. We have all of our long-term stuff, beans and rice, canned goods, stuff like that. We like to keep a fresh stock of fruits and vegetables. Andrea loves her oranges. She eats them like candy, and avocados. Feels a little weird. Feels weird. It doesn't, I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't feel weird, like unfamiliar. It feels like we're definitely in a new city. We're definitely in a new part of the state and a different part of the country at that. But it feels like home. It feels familiar. It feels like this is exactly where we're supposed to be. So what do you got here?
A grilled cheese sandwich. It's magical. It has vegan cheese on it, onions, artichokes, and pepperoncinis. And I'm gonna eat it all. What is he doing?
Guapo! Our child is special.
We're home.
You don't care now.
First day at school.
Okay, drive safe. I love you. Take your time. Morning, everybody. Losing track of the days already. I think it's day 5. Andrea just left for work. She got 2 job offers in the same day, which is crazy. She applied for like 300 jobs when we were down south and got no responses. And as soon as we moved to exactly where we're supposed to be, she gets 2 job offers in the same day. She just took off. I'm staying here at the property. We have this beautiful, moody weather. I'm haggard. I had an awesome weekend with Jake and Amber. Jake helped me explore some of the property, really get to know it more, which is really exciting. Climbing trees, exploring the forest, digging out forts. It was awesome, man.
I want to see some progress.
I'm gonna spend a little bit of time recovering. I'm gonna get some coffee, do some reading, kind of reset. We're just in the process of living it up and getting in tune with the property and kind of getting into our flow with our energy consumption, our gas. We had the 55-gallon drum filled with water in the truck, so I wanted to siphon some of it out before Andrea took off for work. And it worked. Just used a regular drinking water garden hose, and as long as your water container is higher than where you're draining it into, the siphon will work. I was pretty blown away. And the hose was a little bit longer than I would have wanted it to be, but it actually did it did just fine siphoning. Took about 10 minutes to fill up to 20 gallons, and we still have probably another 2 tanks to fill off of that, so it's pretty awesome. It's like 6 in the morning. I'm not gonna go back to sleep, get some coffee, do some reading. I'm just gonna enjoy this beautiful morning up on the mountain by myself for the first time. Holy ah, right in there. Whew. I didn't have my GoPro on. Heard some movement. Thought it might be a deer. 15, 20 yards away, thick bush. Barely see the outline. I just stop moving and I pull my scope up to get a better look. I see a big brown outline. My brain goes bare, and then it turns towards me and I see the whole face of a moose. Couldn't tell if it was male or female, but as soon as it caught me, it was gone. It just stampeded off. My brain didn't know what to think right away. I thought it was running towards me. Hopefully I'll have the GoPro on next time. Holy couple safe. Holy dude. I thought a hawk landed here. It was a turkey. Yesterday I ran into a moose, didn't have the GoPro on, unfortunately. Holy
Oh my god. I'm here on the property. I have been awake for probably an hour. We're just like super emotionally exhausted and physically exhausted. Last week when I got here, I applied for, I continue to apply for jobs like I do every week. It's been really crazy. Like I've been applying for like, I don't know, at least over a dozen jobs a week. I think it was the second day we were here. My friend Amber found a job listing on Instagram, and I don't have Instagram or Facebook anymore. And I ended up sending her an email, and she hired me. So that's really exciting. Yesterday was my first day. And I was exhausted when I got home last night. I could not believe it. Yesterday wasn't really like a training at all. It was like, okay, we're doing everything. Let's just figure it out. And I was like, okay, here we go. So I think I just need a little bit more time to kind of like, I don't know, like fall into the routine of everything and get going with that. I am about to go into town right now and get a bunch of work done for her. I'm gonna make some breakfast first, and then I'm gonna get the show on the road.
Woo! Good morning! Today's Friday. It's the end of the third week here on the property. I don't know where the time has gone. This week alone has been a total blur. Andrea just left for work this morning. Yesterday was a really busy day. I went into town with Andrea and dropped her off at work, and it gave me the entire day to run errands, where I was able to fill up our 55-gallon water tank, filled up our gas can, which I've been using for the generator to power my laptop, Unfortunately, I don't like using fuel, especially with the prices right now, but it's nice to have. All we need is a 12 volt to 120 AC inverter, and I should be able to use our current solar setup, which is very minimal. It's a 180 watt panel, but it's been working great to keep our battery charged and the lights on. This is a 180 watt folding travel panel from Zamp Solar. I think they're out of Oregon. It's pretty dope. Built-in charge controller, no extra wiring or anything to install. So we kind of come with this Zamp plug that's built into the Airstream system. So just plugs in, keeps the 12 volt battery charged, nothing special. So we're on the road to self-reliance and self-sufficiency, but we do understand that it's a process, and that there will always be something you need unless you want to go straight caveman and just live out there with nothing. Which some people do, and I've highly considered it. But as far as being self-sufficient, it will take some time. Eventually, as far as using propane fuel, I want to get a larger propane tank. It's very efficient. We don't use a ton of it, but it would be nice to have like a 250 or 500 gallon tank to just have that. And that will come with time as we develop the ridge line and kind of build our homestead up there, because right now we're down on the lower pad, which is nice in the summertime because it stays in the shade. And I feel like we have more privacy down here. I have one neighbor, he was here the other day doing some work on his property. So it's nice to have our privacy, but also have that feeling of like we're not totally alone out in the middle of nowhere, which is, I'm down for that. But his ultimate goal is to move out to his retirement property up here. And ever since meeting them, we kind of realized that we have a lot in common, that there's a reason they purchased their property up here and the reason why they're living here as well. Yesterday was an interesting experience. We were driving on the way into town and got a flat tire. Luckily, it was a slow leak. We don't have roadside service, and we don't have a whole lot of money to pay for a tow truck. So there's nothing else to do besides just get to work. So on the Ford F-150, they put a f***ing lock thing that prevents you from dropping your spare tire. For whatever reason, people steal spare tires. Ridiculous. I'm gonna steal this f***ing spare. And now the lock is not unlocking. It's not disengaging, and I'm feeling like I'm gonna break my ignition key. So there goes that. I'm getting more frustrated. So I just bust out the screwdriver and a hammer, and I jam it into the hole and just crank it, and it unlocks. So I took my master key and broke that. So it was rusted shut. Rip that shit out, and you have to stick this rod through underneath the tailgate and then crank it counterclockwise to lower the spare and then remove it. So it's not that difficult, but it is kind of a pain in the ass, especially on the side of the road in the dirt. And so we got the spare tire on and we drove into town, and I dropped Andrea off for work. So everything was good. I called a local tire shop and asked if they had any used tires, and they did. They had a couple sets, so I went and checked them out, and I got a set of 4 used tires for $350 out the door. Unreal. If any of you guys have bought tires, you know $350 for 4 truck tires is cheap. And that's including labor, install, balance, and disposal fee of the other old 4 tires. So I'm super stoked about that. That was a great price. Yeah, it sucked eating the $350. You know, we just got here. We're still kind of getting on our feet. But we would rather have new tires, propane, and fuel than money in the bank, right? Of course, we need money to pay our bills and stuff like that, but anyone who lives off-grid understands the value of resources and that you can't eat money. You can't. You can start a fire with it, but it doesn't burn very good either. So it's like money is kind of useless as far as having that digital number in your bank account to pay your cell phone bill and buy food and all that. I get that. But when it comes to living off the land, having water and a full propane tank and a full generator tank and all these things that you need to live this lifestyle are way more important than having money in the bank. And that being said, we are very abundance minded, and I'm so stoked that Andrea is working with a group of young professionals right now. She gets to be in that environment of goal setting and people who understand the power of their thoughts. When you live off grid, it does feel good to have a full fresh tank, full propane tanks, full gasoline, full battery. It feels so good because you're in total control of your utilities and you know exactly where it goes. Battery's at 12.9 right now because I got the lights on. It was at 13.6. Fresh tank's 100, gray 0, black 0. We don't even use a black tank anymore for obvious reasons. We've been composting. We're still trying to figure out the hue manure situation, but the good old 5-gallon bucket special has been working pretty good for us. It's kind of an experimental process. We're still learning ourselves. This whole channel is about us learning because we don't really know what we're doing. And you probably don't either, so join us. So we got brand new used tires on, all four. We got a great deal on this local shop. Plenty of tread still compared to what we had before. They were totally bald on the inside shoulder. And as soon as we put the new tires on, the brakes started squealing, and they just gradually got worse the last 3 or 4 days. Now we're like metal to metal on this tire. So it's hard to tell on camera, but there are heavy grooves here. And it's just metal to metal.
You're not supposed to have grooves?
No, this should be completely smooth.
Oh no.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Oh my god.
Ours are so Today is our 4-year anniversary, so how romantic.
The brake pad's gone.
It's completely gone. Okay.
Oh, those are beautiful. Oh, it's green. Someone offered me $340 for the purple phone. I'm like, yeah.
340?
Yep. Take it.
Deal. Come and get it. I'm not driving you. Sweet. Okay, first one in. Okay.
Wow.
Heavy.
What's this? Come here. Come here.
So for our anniversary, we're gonna just, you know, fry up some potatoes over the fire. Nothing more romantic than using a little bit of trash to start your fire.
Then I'm gonna put another layer on this.
Okay.
Potato nachos, and then whatever is left over is gonna be my lunch tomorrow. Jeez, is that normal?
Good morning, everybody. Just wanted to touch base with you guys, let you know that we were able to acquire our first item on the property through barter. The person Andrea is assisting for, her father is a contractor, and he had this 78 Ford pickup truck trailer sitting in his front yard for $700, and I don't have $700, so I approached him and I said, hey, if you need any labor on any, you know, construction sites or any projects, or if you're open to bartering, I'm down to barter some labor in exchange for the trailer. And he was on board with it immediately. He's like, just hook it up, take it, man, we'll work out a deal. So I started working with yesterday at a job site doing some deck removal, which is a 2-for-1 because now I'm bartering for a trailer that we actually need on our property for hauling gravel, firewood, anything else. On the job site, they're actually demoing a huge wraparound deck. And instead of taking all the wood to the dump and getting rid of it, I asked was like, hey man, as long as I'm out of the way and getting shit done, can I keep some of this salvage wood? And he had no problem with that. We're bartering labor for a trailer, and we got some free building material. It's probably a few $100s worth of pressure treated 2x6s, and I got it all for free.
Join us in our next episode as we run errands, go to a gem shell while Jason and Jake get distracted by boy stuff, and go on a local adventure. Like and subscribe and come soak up the good times with us.
Oh, look at that, dude.